Welcome to Inside Gaming, I'm Brian, it's the Weekend Roundup. We've seen Cuphead make its way over to the Switch, Ori and the Blind Forest is doing the same thing next month. That's great, right? Don't get used to it. Microsoft said recently they aren't planning to bring any more exclusives or first-party IP over to other platforms, just the PC and the Xbox One, which is a bummer because a lot of people were thinking they had maybe started up some kind of new partnership with Nintendo. I mean, Banjo and Kazooie are about to come to Smash Ultimate. And remember that fun Minecraft crossplay trailer they did together last year? You could definitely be forgiven for thinking that Microsoft and Nintendo at least might be teaming up. Plus, Microsoft has been gobbling up all kinds of studios, and a lot of them previously made multi-platform games, which again, got a lot of people thinking that might continue. Sadly, though, that does not seem like it's the case. In a statement to GamesIndustry.biz, Microsoft talked all about its shiny new studios, saying, "The past year has been an exciting time for us as we have more than doubled the internal creative teams making up Xbox Game Studios. As these new studios transitioned in, we are aware of some existing commitments to other platforms and will honor them." Oh, so that's why this is happening. All right. Now for the bad news. Microsoft added, however, going forward, these new studios will focus on making games for our platforms. We have no plans to further expand our exclusive first-party games to other consoles. We continue to believe deeply in crossplay and progression of games with the right flexibility for developers to ensure a fair and fun experience. Now, they did say that they're going to make Xbox IP accessible on other devices via the xCloud streaming service whenever that launches, but that's about it. So yeah, it's a bummer. Every time you think the era of exclusives might be fading a little bit, there's a story like this that reminds you, no, it's not. Everyone still wants you to buy their console. But that being said, Sony of all people might put out some of its games in the future on other platforms. Worldwide Studios chairman Sean Layden told Bloomberg that Sony is still committed to PlayStation exclusives, but he indicated that multiplayer-focused titles could end up on other platforms. In the interview, he said, "We must support the PlayStation platform. That is non-negotiable. That said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios which may need to lean into a wider installed base." He's probably just talking about PC though. Some people noticed that Ready Set Heroes, which is published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, did get an Epic Game Store page, so that might be a sign of things to come. All right, moving on. Could there be multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077? It seems like a crazy question considering that one of the game's big selling points is that it's a single-player, story-driven game, but apparently CD Projekt Red is looking into it. At Gamescom this week, senior concept artist Martha Yonkers told Eurogamer, "We're doing R&D into multiplayer, but we're focusing on single-player experience, and that's what you'll get in 2020. Yonkers added, "It doesn't mean we're saying no multiplayer, but it doesn't mean we're saying yes either. It's still an R&D phase." Now, Yonkers went on to say, "They're not just going to slap some multiplayer feature in and that'll be it." That seems like a knock on other games, but Yonkers said, "Immersion is super important for us and we have to make sure everything fits together. It's possible if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. We would never make anything that's not at least the Witcher standard for Cyberpunk." You know what? I'm fine with no multiplayer. Everything else has multiplayer. I'm good playing Cyberpunk by myself. The lead producer of Dragon Age 4 is leaving BioWare. They are all jumping ship. Fernando Mello has left the company shortly after Anthem lead producer Ben Irving also announced that he's leaving. In a series of tweets, Mello said all the requisite thank yous and added that the move was his own decision. He wrote, "I've been wanting to take some time to disconnect and explore a couple of ideas for the next chapter in my career." Now, Mello was a senior producer on Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 before becoming director of online development in 2011, and later lead producer on Dragon Age 4. A little bit strange to be leaving though, I would think, before Dragon Age 4 is out. He also posted his farewell email that he sent to BioWare staff in which he wrote that the game is well underway to becoming the definitive Dragon Age experience. Secrets are nothing new in Mortal Kombat 11, and now some secret new brutalities have been discovered by the AI. Apparently, they seem to have surfaced after the game's recent update, and it looks like there are all new brutalities for Johnny Cage, Kung Lao, Shao Kahn, Cabal, Baraka, Sub-Zero, and Noob Saibot. Some players have been discovering them by basically letting the AI beat the crap out of them. The YouTube channel Nick and Autumn made a sweet compilation of all the brutalities they discovered by doing that, and one of them, Johnny Cage, punches you so hard in the dick your head pops off. That's amazing. It's still a mystery as to how a lot of these are performed, but I'm sure the internet will figure these out soon. One of the surprise announcements at Gamescom this week was that Kerbal Space Program 2 is being developed. Great, can't wait to build more rockets that crash. It's being developed by a different team. This time it's Star Theory Games. Different than the one that made the original, it's due out spring of next year. Now, the new team made lots of people happy though when they tweeted out an FAQ that said the game will not be an Epic Games Store exclusive. It's coming to Steam, as well as the Xbox Marketplace and the PlayStation Store. These are crazy days when that's a selling point, but here we are. They also said the sequel won't have microtransactions, no purchasable in-game currency, or loot boxes. They wrote, "Our focus will be to deliver solid, impactful content our fans will love to incorporate into their game." What a concept. No word on Mac or Linux support yet. All right, let's talk about upcoming game. First up, it's the Bard's Tale 4 Director Cut, the triumphant return of one of the most iconic RPG series ever. You can delve into a tactically rich combat system that rewards creativity. You can solve puzzles to gain treasure, all kinds of advantages, and discover a beautifully crafted world. It's out August 27th for PS4 and Xbox One. If you've missed some old school WOW, it's World of Warcraft. Why did I write out the acronym? If you've missed old school WoW action, get ready. World of Warcraft Classic is almost here. Blizzard describes it as a faithful recreation of the original World of Warcraft. Combat mechanics, original character models, and skill trees all contribute to a truly authentic experience. It releases on PC August 27th. If full contact racing is your thing, check out Wreckfest. This was developed by Bugbear Entertainment and published by THQ Nordic. Wreckfest is described as the spiritual successor to the Flatout series. Expect epic crashes, neck-to-neck fights over the finish line, and new ways to make metal bend. It's coming to the PS4, Xbox One, August 27th. Headspun is described as an FMV/adventure hybrid where you get to play as a voice in someone's head. Neat! Here's a description. After waking up from a 5-week coma, Theo Kavinsky finds his life in disrepair and with no memory of the accident. It's up to Ted and Teddy, the conscious and subconscious voices in his head, to work out what happened and put his life back on track. Headspun, like I said, is an FMV adventure hybrid. It puts you in the shoes of Ted, the director of Cortex, the rational, intelligent voice inside a guy named Theo and his head. In the process of repairing Cortex, rehiring a team, and finding out what happened the night of the accident, Ted and Teddy must put aside their differences. They gotta learn to work together. It's out for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch August 28th. Monster Sanctuary is described as monster taming meets Metroidvania. It's got a cool art style, I like it. You can collect, train, and battle monsters in a lovely side view pixel world. I love pixel art games. It's out for the PC August 28th. If you've been wanting some Bubsy on your Switch, get ready. Bubsy Paws on Fire is coming, featuring 4 playable characters, each with their own mechanics. There's also an all-new story featuring an unlikely alliance between Bubsy and his arch-rivals, the Woolies. And there's over 100 levels across 3 different worlds to check out. It comes to the Switch August 29th. Heave Ho is a game you can play with up to 4 players, and it's got a very easy goal. Don't fall to your death. Stretch out your hands, hold on to your friends, and swing to victory. It's out for PC and Switch August 29th. Astral Chain, the much anticipated new action game from Platinum Games, is coming. You're a rookie officer in the elite police task force called Neuro, and your partner is a living weapon called the Legion. Together, you're humanity's last chance. The game, it's also the directorial debut of Platinum Games' Takahisa Tara, who was the designer of Nier Automata, so very cool. It's out for the Switch August 30th. Blair Witch is a horror game, no surprise there, that's inspired by the movie of the same name. Interestingly, the game also apparently studies your reactions to fear and stress. Not creepy at all. I assume you'll also get lost in the woods and make videos while your nose is running. It's out for PC and Xbox One August 30th. Speaking of horror games, the Dark Pictures anthology Man of Medan is a series of standalone branching cinematic horror games that can also be played online with a friend. In Man of Medan, 5 friends set sail on a holiday diving trip that changes into something much more sinister, of course. It's out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One August 30th. And finally, one more horror game, Remothered Tormented Fathers. It's described as a pure and realistic survival horror game where heroes and enemies are atypical and the line between good and evil is blurred. It's out for the Switch August 30th. All right, that's all we got for Roundup this week. Aaron is off. He'll be back next week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Well, who else got laid off since we're doing such a positive story, Brian?
Well, we're kind of going by who has been tweeted that they've been laid off, which seems like a pretty good source. But other people who've tweeted that they got laid off include West Coast News editor Imran Khan, senior associate editor Kyle Hilliard, and associate editor Surreal Vasquez. In all, it sounds like at least 7 people tweeted that they lost their job.